Now I want to start off by saying this is all a theory. I'm not saying that my family actually tried to kill me, and I'm also not saying that they didn't. All I'm really saying is that I'm always right, so do with that and what you please. Oh boy. Some years ago, I was a bright-eyed and bushy-tailed young lad, only 10 years old. It was the summer of '02, and I got the illustrious honor of getting continue my education shortly after the summer solstice. I had summer school. So what? Like any mildly dumb and highly the greatest kid ever, I dreaded the thought of learning anything besides how many root beer floats I could drink and Skittles I could eat without going into a sugar coma. Unfortunately, my mother and the school board didn't share the passion for my research. I could have done so much with my work. One particular morning, my grandmother woke me up and had me get ready for school, and she said something really strange to me. She said, and I quote, "Make sure you put on some clean underwear because you never know when something might happen to you and you don't want anyone to see your pissy drawers." And disappeared in the bad smoke. Okay, I'm a little fuzzy on the details, but I'm pretty sure that happened. Fortunately for me, she told me this because I had no plans of changing them like any other 10-year-old boy, or was I just disgusting? With my legs are working and my drawers all clean, I went off to school. As I sat on the bus stop alone and watched all the cars whizzing by on this busy street, I realized that this sucks. I remember wishing that the school would blow up or the bus driver's goldfish would die, anything to stop me from going to school. Eventually the bus came, I got on with the rest of the adults and we went to school. This wasn't my first time at summer school, but it sucked no less. Dumb teachers, stupid class, nasty lunch, no cartoons, it's always the same. Eventually it was over and I made it through. The bus driver we have during the school year usually drives up the road a little because the street is exceptionally busy, but the jerk I had didn't. He let us out and pulled off immediately. I went up the street until I saw a clearing. As I walked across the street, I heard a loud horn, looked to the left, and then everything went black. Did I ever mention that I'm horrible at Frogger? Now I have it from my eyewitness that when I got hit, I rolled over the car, and the girl that I had a crush on in 2nd grade laughed at me. But it's okay. I just hope her life is horrible. The next thing I remember was darkness and saying my name and where my mother works over and over again. I remember the feeling of the hot pavement burning my skin and a man's voice trying to talk to me. I eventually opened my eyes and I remember seeing my brand new Air Force One on the other side of the street. I just got those shoes. Then I remember being in an ambulance, in excruciating pain. The paramedic tried to put a neck brace on me, but I kept telling him that it wasn't my neck, it was my leg. He calmly said, "We don't know that, dummy." I thought he was pretty rude. Eventually we got to the hospital. They took me right upstairs and then got to work. The lady started to cut my pants off. I felt a little uncomfortable because this is my first time meeting her. We didn't go to dinner, but I can't blame her. I was a fine piece of tail at 10. So she got the first pant leg off and then took her time with the broken leg. She cut it on the seams and then slit it off. Just to be clear, this is the second article of clothing I lost today. I looked down at my leg and saw my bones protruding out of my skin looking like a bloody teepee. Now I don't know if it was the drugs or seeing my bones trying to escape from my body, but I passed out. I woke a little while later to my whole family standing in front of me and my little sister looking at my hospital gown. Luckily enough for me, my aunt said, "I'll cover this for you." Then my grandmother leaned in and said, "Aren't you glad you wore clean underwear?" The good thing is I got out of going to summer school. All I had to do was separate my bones from one another. And as for school, I just had to take the final test. Passed it, so I wouldn't take that back. But the next 6 months of my life pretty much sucked. So in conclusion, I think my grandmother tried to kill me to prove a point. Was it for the insurance money, or for some kind of crazy life lesson? I don't know. But what I do know is, 1, she told me to wear clean underwear for the first time on the day that I actually needed some. 2, it was a hit and run. 3, when the driver came to the hospital, he said he didn't want anyone to see him, he just wanted to know if I was okay. And 4, nobody wanted to sue. I personally wanted restitutions, restoration, and exasperations. But I'll let you make your own mind up, you have the facts. I just know that this whole situation pretty much traumatized me. I can never trust anyone wearing clean underwear. So, yeah. So she starts calling out numbers, B7, G40, P90X, and I immediately died. Bingo! Now, I don't know if you remember Mr. Bucket, but the song went, "I'm Mr. Bucket, you stick your balls in my mouth, I'm Mr. Bucket." That's not how the song was, but that's how I remember it. The thing that bothers me the most about this whole thing is, I never got that nurse's number. Now I know I was young and didn't even have any facial hair, but now I'm older and the mustache on fleek, yo.